Last week we tackled those cloudy headlights at the front of the car, and today we're going to do some interior work. So that's why I'm sat inside the car, because we're going to be working on this, the iDrive system in this BMW E318 diesel. What we're going to try and do is bring it forward a couple of years and bring in some features like Apple CarPlay, whilst retaining all of the original OEM features of the iDrive system. We're going to take it from looking like this to this. So that's the goal, so let's get to it. Been quite lucky with this because it's one of the late model E91s, but because of that we've got the slightly newer CIC iDrive system, which does give us Bluetooth essentially, and a bunch of other features, but it's not massively reliable. It does cut out quite a lot, and it could really just do with a refresh. And one of the things that I've always liked about having a newer car is the option of Apple CarPlay, but also I want to keep the key features of the car. I want to be able to use the iDrive system still, and the hand controls. I like having buttons rather than complete touchscreen. So what we've got here is a car multimedia system, nice and generic. But in there we've got the wiring loom and the bits and bobs we need, some instructions, some warranty info, the actual loom that connects to the OEM stereo system, and then in here we've got the replacement screen. We're going to try and get that installed. The other things we've got is a reversing camera for the car. Now, my main reason for buying this is actually that the boot lid switch on my car has broken, and I think this cost about £12, so it's going to be a cheapy, nasty one. But it's got the boot opening switch and a built-in camera. But I'm not going to tackle that part today, only on the basis that I'm going to stick to stuff on the inside of the car and quick and easy bits today. I just want to get the head unit swapped over. But if that all goes to plan, you'll see on the wiring loom here, there's this cam-in cable here, which we can actually connect up for a reversing camera. So obviously I'm going to have to run cables all the way through the car to the back, and I don't think I'm going to have time to do that today. So the only other thing I do have is some replacement LED side repeaters. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the way these look. They're blacked out, but they should look a lot more modern. But the main reason I'm doing this is if I show you on the outside of the car, as you can see here, the side repeaters are actually coming off, and this one keeps popping out because the little clip on it has snapped. And someone's tried to stick it back on. So what I'm going to do is just replace both, which I'll do at the end of the video today. What we're going to need for this is some of these bad boys, which are just trim removal tools. They're plastic, they're weak, they're flexible, and they're great for getting these bits of plastic trim out of the car without damaging it. I hate when you've got a creaky interior on a car, and 9 times out of 10 it's because you've broken a clip. So these should hopefully help me get these off without breaking anything. That's the goal. And also we're going to need one of these, screwdriver with a T20 Torx bit, and that should be enough to get that other screen out. The rest of it is just connecting cables, so touch wood, this should all be okay. I should remind you, obviously before doing any work like this, disconnect the battery from the car. I'm going to say now I've done it. Anyway, so let's get cracking on that. So first step here, we need to get this silver bit of trim off so that we can release the air conditioning unit and get to the back of this head unit here. To make life a little bit easier, one thing we can do is we've got the car in accessory mode. Just bring it down to drive, across to sport, and then turn it off again, right? So now we've got the gear knob out of the way. Should make it a little bit easier to get to stuff. You can just pull this off. I'm hoping I won't need to, but it should give me a little bit more room. What I'm going to start by doing here is with my little trim removal tool, I'm going to try and get in underneath this, and it should just hop off. There we go. There we go, lovely. So we loosen that off there. Going to come along a little bit further with this and just see if there's anywhere else it's hanging on. We don't need it off completely. What we do just need is it far enough away from the car. I'm moving my knobs around here, look. There we go. So that we can get it loosened off and we can get to the air conditioning unit here. So with this out of the way, we should be able to get to this. Right, there we go. So finger in there, excuse me, and in there, and this will just lift out of the way. We've got some cables going into the back of this. So what I'm going to do now, so you press down on the little retaining clip there, let's just lock onto that, and then we can slide that across, like so. The plug just comes out nice and easy like that. And then this one here, I think it's just 2 clips at the side. So with that, we've got the aircon unit out of the way. Now we've got that out of the way, we should be able to get to this head unit, and there's this bit of trim around it. And from what I can gather, it should just lift out. Okay, so when I said you only need a Torx T20 bit, we also need a screwdriver. So what we've got here is these 2 screws, one here and one over here, holding that head unit in, and this should then just pull out. Now actually what I'm going to do before I pull it out much further, I'm just going to go grab a microfiber cloth. So I'm just going to lie that down there, so when I pull this head unit out, it can lie right down onto that. Now, this is why you might want to take the gear knob off, because it gets a bit fiddly. So what I'm going to try and do is get around the back of that and unplug the cables from this, get this out of the way, and it make it a little bit easier. Yeah, I've just unhooked that loom a little bit further so I can see a bit more what I'm doing. So I've got the original BMW wiring going in here at the back of the loom. Now if we follow the loom along, this is the bit that goes into the back of the BMW stereo. And then we've got these extended loom here, which I believe will probably go up to the screen. And in there we've also got the camera in, mic in, and then down here we have an audio out, which I think we need to connect to the aux cable. I don't know if it's necessary because we've got that optical cable, but I'm going to do it anyway because if I do need it, I'd rather do it now while I'm apart than have to take it all apart again. One important thing as well, with all this stuff, test it before you put it back together, because trust me, if you put it all back together and it doesn't work, you're going to be really annoyed. So what I want to do now is I'm going to take that optical cable, the green and black one, and place it on this outside connector here. And then I'm going to plug that back into the back of the head unit. So I'm guessing at this point the next step is to get these 2 screws out on the screen, remove the old screen, plug the new one in, and hopefully that'll work and it will come back to life. I've got the 2 T20 Torx bits out. Bit of a tip, you either have a very short screwdriver, or it's sometimes best to use a socket with an adapter on it, so we can just use a T20 on that. It makes life a lot easier. And now we've got this loose, it should, yeah, just lift out. Bit fiddly, but we'll just hook to my corner there. There we go. Right, so that's kind of out. It looks like we're a bit snagged somewhere on one of the cables, but that's okay. All you need to do is get these unplugged from the back, and then we'll have the whole old head unit out, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so we've got the iDrive screen out now. There's 2 cables going into the back of it. So we've got this purple one here, and then this normal sort of style connector here, which runs up through that channel there. Purple one's a bit of a pig to get out, but what you've got is this, try and spin it around like that. It's a little retaining clip here. Once you've got that pressed in, you should be able to jimmy it out. This one's got just 2 little squeegee pins, pull out the back of the head unit. On the back of the unit itself, you've got these sort of cable organisation bits. The cables are all tucked up neatly in there, which is great, but at the same time it makes it a bit of a pig to move. So it's easy, they're easy enough to unhook. If I just do that here, you just literally lift them up, pull the cables out, make life a lot easier for getting that out. And we've got our old screen out here. And this is our new screen here. As you can see, it's a lot wider than the old one. You've got that little SIM card slot there, or SD card slot, and a microphone. And on the back, we've got your connectors here. So one of them is coming from the new loom, which is this, let's have a look here, this white connector here. And then this blue slot here is where we're going to connect the purple cable from the old one. What I'm going to do is get that all connected up now, and then we're going to do some testing before we put this all back together. I'm not sure what the other slots are for. Let's have a quick look actually. We've got this, which looks like a GPS or Wi-Fi antenna. Plugs into there. Then we've got the white cable from the loom, which goes in there. like so. USB cables, one's probably for updating, one's for connecting your phone. Don't think I'm going to need that. So it's going like that. Yeah. What I'm going to do is just get that last purple cable plugged in, and then I'm going to get back in the driver's seat and we're going to test this thing before we put anything back together. Got everything connected up and all the cables are a mess. I haven't figured out how to route the cable back down, but what I want to do now is test this and make sure it actually works, because otherwise there's very little point in going any further. Oh yeah, we got something there, powered by Android. There's audio coming out from a YouTube video I was watching, but that's a very good sign. Okay, so we have the iDrive, the system loaded up there. What I really want to do is sit this somewhere. So that's our iDrive. Yep, that's working. I've got the controls. I press and hold the menu button. I get back into the actual system and that is working as it should. That's lovely. We've got those. All the navigation seems pretty snappy. If I press radio's playing, that's good. Everything's working now. What I'm going to do is tidy up all the cable routing on this, which I'm going to do off camera because it's going to take me ages. But the good news is the system appears to be working as it should. I have actually scuffed the fuck out of my brushed aluminium here, which is annoying me quite considerably. So I'm going to get this all apart, turn off the cameras, get the job done, and then I'll be back when I'm finished. So I'm part way through the cable routing now. I thought I'd just jump in and actually talk about what I've done. So the next thing to do for me was to actually remove the trim piece with the starter button and the vents in. That is, once it's loose, it's as simple as pushing these two buttons out through the back of it and you can unplug them. And then you'll have a bit more movement to just unplug the starter button from here as well. That'll get that out of the way and it gives you a little bit more room to work with. Now with the cable that runs up to the iDrive unit, I've actually routed it. So it's coming up under here, out through here, up underneath, and then coming out behind the screen here. It's the only way I could really get it to route without it being all over the place. For the little GPS or Wi-Fi antenna thing, I've tucked that up just out of the way there. I've got the cable loose here, which I'm going to tuck down the back in a moment once I've got it plugged in. And then the aux cable, I've run it back down the same route, and it's just coming out of the bottom here, and eventually what I'm going to do is tuck that under the trim and run it up behind. So at least I know all the cables I need are in place now. Okay, so you joined me a couple of days later and I'm pleased to say that that head unit upgrade was a success. I managed to get the rest of the wiring all tidied up. Now I did make one small mistake in that I didn't actually route the two USB cables out the side of the center console, which I should have done, because I don't like the little Android logo that loads up when you turn this thing on, and you can replace that. So I've designed something that I think looks really cool. It's a picture of this car that I can sort of have as a loading screen. So I do need to get it apart again to get those USB cables in place. It's the only way you can really connect to this to put the files on it. But I've still got to get this thing out again anyway, because I need to wire the reversing camera and the new boot button. So it's going to come apart again anyway, so I might as well get those cables fished through at the same time. But other than that, I'm really happy with this. It's retained all the controls through the iDrive, wheel and knobs and whatnot down here, so I can actually navigate through both the iDrive system that was originally in the car, but also the CarPlay screen, everything else that's been added. It's obviously touch screen now, much wider screen, much better picture quality, so really chuffed with that. And all in all, it is a massive improvement. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I have linked down in the description this kit, or a very similar kit if I couldn't find this exact one. They're all very much the same. I did spend a lot of time going through every listing on Amazon, on eBay, online, wherever I could find them, to sort of make sure I knew enough about this before I purchased one. And I ended up getting very lucky and finding one on Facebook Marketplace that hadn't been used, but someone had bought it and never put it in the car. So I got this for very cheap, which is the whole purpose of this channel really. I want to do upgrades on a budget. But having said that, you can still get these for less than £200. They are a simple install yourself. You just have to have some patience. A couple of tips that I would have pulled out having done this now is, first of all, the trim strip along the dashboard get that out when you're doing this. Remove the start-stop button, remove the control from the air vents, give you so much more room. And also, from personal experience, I scratched the dashboard a little bit when I was putting this together, and I didn't need to. If it was out of the way, it would have been so much easier to get to half the stuff I needed to get to, and also I wouldn't have scratched it. So that's one piece of advice I'd give up front. Other than that, routing the cables, don't try and route them the same way as the original screens cables go up. It's an absolute pig, but there is quite a nice route round that goes just in behind the vents and up, and it comes out in the little slot where the screen would normally sit. If you're going to buy one yourself, just double check you get the one that's right for your particular iDrive system. So there's a CCC and a CIC on these E90 model BMWs. That's it. As long as you get the right piece of kit, it's very much plug and play. You're not doing any damage to the original system either, so it's very easily reverted back to what you had originally. So all in, it's a very simple upgrade, and it does take years off the car. It makes it feel so much nicer and newer in here. I've got a reliable Bluetooth connection to my phone, which I like. I've got my maps up on the screen. In fact, in every sense, it's just a massive improvement. I'm really chuffed about that. So definitely worth the upgrade. It makes the car feel a lot newer. Everything still works like it should do. If I go into reverse, my parking sensor's sharp like I did before. If I open a door, the door opening warning thing pops up. When I first plugged this in, it was actually getting the sides wrong. I think it's set up for a left-hand drive car, and for whatever reason, if I opened the driver's door, it was showing the left door being open. All of that stuff is available in the settings, so when you're jumping through, you can actually adjust all of that and get it to your sort of liking. Yeah, all in all, it was just a really good upgrade. I'm really happy with it. I'm looking forward to getting the reversing camera installed. I've not had a reversing camera on a car I've owned before, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised, but this thing's much easier to park than the Audi. It seems a little bit narrower, so it's not really massively necessary, but it's there. And also, it was cheaper than getting just a normal boot switch from BMW, getting this one with the camera built in, and it still replaces the OEM model. So that's yeah, a big improvement, and one I'm looking forward to installing and trying. Now, much like the last video, I've spent most of my time doing this main change, but there is one small other change that I want to get sorted, and it is those side repeaters I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we're just back at the driveway now. You can see the cloudy old side repeater here, and this one is broken, so definitely needs replacing anyway. So that just plugs and plays. Looks okay. I don't particularly like it, but it's definitely an improvement on what was there before. Okay, so there you have it. Both sides done. I actually don't like these. The black doesn't look very good, and also the way the indicators flash I'm not that keen on, but they're better than a broken set. So that's that done. You'll probably find they're different in the next video, but for the time being, they're on there. And they're not going to fall off, which is the main thing. So yeah, quick fix. So we've upgraded the head unit, we've replaced those side repeaters, and in the last video we refreshed those headlights. This car is already looking way better than it did when I got it, and it's already feeling a lot newer. I'm chuffed to bits with the results so far. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please do like and subscribe. It really means a lot. And also drop a comment down below. I do read every single one of them, and I will reply to them. My last video, I think at this point, has got one comment, and that's from me. I didn't reply to that one, in honesty, because I don't like the guy who wrote it. But in seriousness, if you do leave a comment down below, let me know what you think I should do with this car. I will always endeavour to respond, and I do absolutely read every one. So please do let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think I should do to this car next. In the next video, I will be tackling those wheels. So if that's something you'd like to see, make sure you subscribe, stick around to the next video, and I look forward to showing you the results.